is KU a bowl team?
All right. So I'm guessing you're leaving this one for me to start off.
No, I'll let you start because I'll wrap it up after that.
All right. Sounds good. I will. So I hate adding a caveat. If Jalen Daniels plays this way, then Kansas is absolutely a bowl level team. I think that um, if Jalen, I don't want to say slumps, but if he comes back to earth, a little bit more than maybe people are hoping, it's still a successful season, and you still wind up winning, say, 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Kansas has put itself in that spot, and has put itself in a spot to win multiple conference games. But yeah, I do think that with the way that Jalen Daniels is currently playing, there's no reason to expect that Kansas couldn't beat Duke. And if Kansas is 4-0 coming out of September, I don't think they're done. And I think that you even look at a situation with what Iowa State and TCU, I think right after that, tell me which one of those Kansas can't win if Jalen Daniels is playing like a first team All Big 12 quarterback. And I'm not saying they will win both of those. I'm saying I'm not sure that they couldn't win either one or both. And so I do think that Kansas is a bowl level team with Daniels playing like this. I think, when I initially said if Kansas beats West Virginia, which I thought was going to kind of be a coin flip game, and it worked out exactly like that in overtime. If Kansas beat West Virginia, I had them at 4-8. I didn't have Jalen Daniels playing this well with that projection. And so I do think with Jalen playing this well, with the offense playing this well, I do think that Kansas is a team that can add a couple wins to that, if not even, another one after that.
Yeah, I think for me, what they've shown so far is a bowl caliber team. I think that's what you're looking at right now. And I've obviously been kind of bullish on the other side that, hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. But I think just what they've shown in terms of the offense, in terms of the defense being able to get enough stops during portions of the game, and I think the defense will figure it out as the season goes along. But KU has now competed and, for lack of a better term, dominated during stretches, because that's what they did against West Virginia, right? During kind of the heart of that game is when they really dominated. And then I think you'd argue that outside the first 2 drives, KU dominated against Houston. You've just dominated 2 teams that will go to bowl games. What does that make you? A team that's good enough to go play in a bowl game. Now, will all the the coin flip moments go KU's way? I'm probably definitely not. Like, that's the fact. They're coin flip moments. Some will not go KU's way. So far, I think they've gotten some of those moments in their direction. I think they've also created their own luck. That's something that coaches talk about a lot sometimes is, hey, you got to create your own luck, and that's what Kansas has done so far. And so you look at the schedule, Iowa State and TCU are winnable games now, just based on what we've seen. And that's the thing about football. You only get 1 data point per week. This isn't basketball, right? You get 1 data point per week. And the 3 data points we've seen so far indicate KU is a bowl caliber team. Again, does that mean they will make it? We'll have to see. But this is a team that can do it. And you look at the schedule, I can come up with 6 wins right now. You can point at Duke, Iowa State, TCU, Texas Tech, and then K-State, Oklahoma State. Boom. I'm not saying you're going to win all those games, but those are games that you will enter the game thinking, hey, Kansas can win this game. Could Kansas beat Baylor, Texas, Oklahoma? On the right day, yeah. But that's not one of those where I think you go in expecting it. And is KU going to go 9-3? I mean, probably not. But if Jalen Daniels continues to play like this, then I don't know. I'm not going to discount anything at this point, right? The numbers show you Jalen Daniels is a dude. And if he continues to play like this, it's going to pull KU up by the bootstraps, regardless of what the defense does. And we haven't really even seen that much special team stuff yet because the offense has been so good. So I think just overall, I've kind of flipped where maybe I'm going to be way too optimistic and then, whatever, it won't go KU's way. But I think at this point, what they've shown so far is a team that is good enough to make a bowl. Again, does that mean they will? I don't know. We'll see. It's football. But I think that's an encouraging sign for KU going into the next 9 weeks if you include the bye week.
Sure, sure. And it's funny because obviously that West Virginia game was so close and could have gone either way. And if we're sitting here and Kansas is 2-1, with the loss to West Virginia, I feel like maybe we're not having this conversation.
Probably not.
Because we're saying, well, we probably expected them to be maybe around 2-1 with the wins coming against West Virginia and Tennessee Tech, lose to Houston.
For sure.
It would have been a little different. But that's the thing about football with the one data point a week, like you're saying, they don't give wins back. The fact that was a close win, the fact that it came down to the very end, it doesn't matter that it was, separated in overtime. They all count the same. And Kansas is sitting here 3-0, potentially with the chance to go 4-0 if it can win at home against Duke in a game that, if we're being honest, Kansas is probably going to be favored in. And, if as crazy as that is to say, with the way things have gone the last decade, and if Kansas is sitting here at 4-0 coming out of September, the one other thing I would say is, you talked about perception and how it means everything in recruiting. I think confidence and momentum mean everything in college
100%.
football.
Oh,
and when you're talking about 18 to 22-year-old kids, you lose a couple close games. It's not that you can't turn things around, but you really have to fear a team that's playing with confidence and momentum, because they don't think that there's any task that's too big for them. And I think that if you have Kansas coming out of September at 4-0, going into Big 12 play, sort of, as a whole, I know they already played West Virginia, but really starting the grind of conference play, I think you're talking about a team that has a lot of confidence, a lot of momentum, and I don't see that team. And maybe I'm going to cold takes expose myself here, but I don't see a team going 4-0 and then just sort of, falling by the wayside. I think that if they go 4-0, I think they get a couple more and wind up going to a bowl game.